What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic Rebuild. As always, I'm Pee Wee the Plug, 1/4 through the wire, number one Knicks fan in the world, aka Mr. Know-It-All. Boom. Last time we spoke, I think the main thing was that Wendell Carter is now on the trading block. We did have the whole Al Horford OKC trade that I was looking at and that I kind of like. Since then, I just want to go back and make sure, they don't have a center. They have an extreme youth movement going on, as we see, and they kind of killing it. I forgot, they got Suggs, they got Green, they got Shea, they got THT, they got LiAngelo, they got Dort, they got DeRozan, DeRozan took a big hit in his regression. He was a 79, but he dropped 5 overalls. That's ridiculous. Then we got Poku, Baisley, Roby, and then boom, if they do a trade with us, they would have Wendell Carter right there, and they still got a boatload of draft picks and different things like that. But since the last time y'all saw, I added him to the trading block, and I've also, I don't know why they gone. I guess it didn't save. But I added some people to the target list. As y'all can see right there, Terry. It's a smaller guy that's on the target list. You know, he's not like a superstar or nothing. I just see that the Mavericks are winning. And I see that he is kind of like unhappy because he's not playing at all. Which at 21 behind Luka and Bronson and Trey Burke and all these different people, he's not going to play, but he's aggravated with the current situation. His morale is really down, and for some reason they have him talking about his contract. He's not really fazed. But what I noticed, and first and foremost, what I want to show y'all is something that I do when I'm doing these trades, different things. I go to Team Intel, and Team Intel tells you all of this information about each and every team. So, for example, we have our own team right in front of us. They're labeling us as a rebuilding team, which is true. But if I wanted to, at any point, I could change the current status of my own team. I think that they got it on the head with rebuilding, so I'm not going to touch it. But they tell you everything you want to know about a team. The Magic are clearly in rebuild mode and will likely be looking to dump players for picks. Because I put Tyrell Terry on my target list, it says it looks like they wish to target Tyrell Terry via a trade or in the next offseason's free agent period. The following players are on the trade block: Wendell Carter, Terrence Ross, Gary Harris, plus one other player, which is Michael Carter-Williams. All players on this team are available for a trade if a good offer is made. And then our expiring contracts is Chuma, Wendell, and Mobama, and some other people. They got our lineup right there. They got our 6-man right there. They got our record, where we are in the conference, where we are in the division, our cap space. Tells you everything you need to know. But the good thing about 2K is they do it for every single team. So right now, the Mavericks, which is the next team and the team that Tyrell Terry plays for, they tell us they are looking for someone that can come in and help them become contenders this season. The team is also, their target list is Zion Williamson, which I'm not mad at. They want to put Zion and Luka together. They also are eyeing Eric Bledsoe, and I'm guessing they're eyeing Eric Bledsoe because they know any way that they can get Zion, they would probably have to take Bledsoe with money and different things. So they really doing their homework. And it says it appears that this team doesn't have any players on the trade block. There's no way that they would trade Luka Doncic. So they tell you a team's trade block and they tell you who a team is trying to get, who's on their trade block, and they tell you about like untouchables. So Luka is an untouchable for them. And they tell us their expiring contracts, and as we see, they're 12-5. They're third in the Western Conference, and they're second in a division, and they have the same amount of cap space as us, which is -4, -4.3. Their lineup is solid, but that shooting guard position could be better, as we see. And then they have Tim Hardaway Jr. as their 6-man. So when I look at the Mavericks, I honestly want Tyrell Terry because of his shooting. We lack shooting, so I want Tyrell Terry because he can shoot. And I think I could play him on and off the ball, versatile. The only thing about it is I would have to find minutes for him because we're kind of loaded in that guard position. RJ Hampton ain't even getting the minutes he wants. We got Cole Anthony Markelle, Gary Trent. It's just a lot of guards right now. But because it is trade season and I have other guys that I'm eyeing and I'm into, moves probably will be made. We're getting to the part of the series in the next few episodes where things could look drastically different. So we're gonna be eyeing the Mavericks and Terry Rozier. That's one of the guys. Another guy that's on my target list that they don't have on my target list is a guy that plays for the Charlotte Hornets. He's not going to pop up because he is currently injured. But it says the same thing for Charlotte that it says about us, which is that they're in rebuilding mode. I didn't realize that they were 10-5 and second in the Eastern Conference, so that's good for them. They won draft picks, which I think that should be changing soon. If they keep up the pace, that little rebuild thing, it'll change. But that starting lineup is solid. They got LaMelo, they got Victor, they got Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington. That center position is weak, which is where we can add Wendell Carter. Their sixth man is Miles Bridges, and that guy down there with the expiring contracts is the exact man we want. We want Terry Rozier, who's on an expiring deal, plays the same position as LaMelo Ball, who is their future. They have cap space. So the only thing right now, and I'm gonna add him to the target list, but the only reason why we're not going to explore the trade at this moment is because he's hurt. That's the only reason. He is, and obviously since I just added him to the thing, they won't. But I'll go to the rosters now so we can get some intel on that injury and figure out when we will be able to communicate with the Hornets to get him. Okay, so he got a pinched nerve in his back. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks. He's normally an 81 overall player or 80 overall. He's on the last year of his deal at $17 million. Let's make sure there ain't no player option and no foolishness inside of that contract. Nope, just $17 million straight. And right now for them, he's averaging 16, 7, and 6, 43% from the field, 41% from three, almost 80% from the free throw line. He's playing 29.6 minutes a game. This is a dude that when he gets back healthy in the next month or so, hopefully it's 2 weeks, the sooner the better. They're a team that we're going to probably reach out to and see if there's anything that we can do with Wendell Carter and maybe Terrence Ross to give them another scoring punch off the bench. See if it's something that we can make happen. Terry Rozier is making $17 million a year. I would assume that he would want something similar to that in his next contract. They already paid Gordon Hayward $30 million salary. VO is $11 million. They're about to have to do something with LaMelo in his contract. I'm assuming they're going to pay him. I'm parched. I'm assuming they're going to have to pay him. I thought Malik Monk was making $14 million a year. I was about to say what's going on. They're about to have to pay PJ Washington and Miles Bridges. So the money is going to shorten up. I'm assuming that the money is going to shorten up a very tad bit. I don't think they're going to be in debt or not have any money at all. But why not give them a center and Wendell Carter, who's overall is just about, obviously Terry Rozier is the better player. He has more badges and things like that. But Wendell Carter is 22-year-old center, around a 79 overall. He's 22. He only makes $6 million a year. When they re-sign him, it's gonna go up to what? It may go up to I don't know, because me signing Gary Trent Jr. for $8 million threw me off. And what I probably am going to do at some point, I may boost Gary Trent's salary because I had a lot of conversation with the people in the comments when I did sign him. I know it was like Raptor fans probably, but us signing Gary Trent Jr. from the Raptors for $8.9 million, I didn't think would happen, and I agree it's not real. Why the Raptors didn't re-sign him, I have no idea. But all I know is from my perspective as a GM, when I see a restricted free agent like him and THT, I just threw the money and see if the team was going to match. I assume that they did, and if they did, I would get my money back. But if they didn't, I land one of them, and I was able to land Gary Trent Jr. But what I am going to do is probably in the next offseason, when we get to the offseason, I'm going to boost his salary up to try to make it some type of realistic number. Because I don't really like the fact that I got him for just 8.9, because that ain't right. That's no way in hell I'm snagging him from the Raptors for 8.9 when they have his bird rights, which means they can go into the luxury tax to keep him. So that was confusing. But yeah, Wendell Carter is at $6 million right now for his current contract. Terry Rozier is at 17, close to 18. We put in Terrence Ross's contract, which is 12.5 with the 6.9. That's around 18, 19. We'd be able to make a deal work. We give Wendell Carter, Terrence Ross to the Hornets, maybe throw in a second round pick, maybe if they're dying and needing for it, and try to see if we can get Terry Rozier. Now the thing that I'm thinking about, because obviously, like I said, when Terry, we have such a guard logjam. What's the next move after that is what I'm trying to game plan for, because now we picture the roster with Terry Rozier. It's now Terry Rozier, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Gary Trent, R.J. Hampton, and these two rookies, and it's just like I said, a log jam. So Markelle Fultz, as good as he's been, 11, 6, and 3, 22% from the 3-point line, shooting very well from the free throw line, and good from the field. Solid as he's been, as much as I like him, we may have to start looking at other options and looking around and see how expandable Markelle Fultz is and can be. Because Gary Trent ain't going nowhere. We just signed him, and like I said, we're going to boost that salary up to make him get what he's projected to maybe get in the real world. I'm going to make that right. And so we just invested in him. I'm a big fan of R.J. Hampton in his youth at 20 years old. Chuma Okeke overall right now is our best player. Jonathan Isaac soon will get back to being our best player at only 24 years old. I'm definitely not trying to trade any of those guys. And they also don't affect Terry Rozier's minutes. So, matter of fact, while we on the subject, let's see what Markelle Fultz at $15 million a year can do for us. So we're not going to trade Mo Bamba and Markelle. I think Mo Bamba has solidified itself as the guy we're going to rock with. That's why we're getting rid of Wendell. So if anything, a nice older veteran backup center like Al Horford would be somebody I'd be interested in. I don't know why the Hawks would want Markelle, because they have Trae Young. The trade logic in 2K is another thing that they have to work on. There's no slider that Schneid can do. There's nothing that CelticLG can do to the rosters to fix the trade logic. That's like something that's in 2K's engine that they need to fix. Which is again what I mean by we're limited. Like, it's only so much we can do with the game. LA, Markelle with Bron probably isn't working. Detroit has Killian Hayes. Phoenix, I know they have Chris Paul, but Chris Paul is going to be on the last year of his deal. So, still don't make sense for them. Portland, got Dame, the Warriors, Steph, the Wizards, Russell. I know they're not going to keep Russell Westbrook. I know they're not keeping Russell. Oh, does he have an option? They might have no choice but to keep Russell Westbrook if he has an option. Oh, Russell Westbrook has a player option. He will be there. Never mind. Russell Westbrook will be there. Cleveland has Garland. The Clippers don't have a point guard, if I'm not mistaken, which is why they're trying to trade us Beverly, because so maybe the Clippers. I'm gonna look around. I'm not about to do the trade now, but I am gonna look around between the next episodes to see what teams are lacking point guards. Is there some team out here that just doesn't have a point guard at all that could use Markelle? Philly, already been there. Drew Holiday, Devontae Graham is in Chicago. Garland, Kemba, the Celtics. We about to get to Kemba, but Kemba is also the other guy I was targeting. We're gonna get to him. The Clippers don't have any point guard play at all. Rondo is 35. Bev is 33. Cameron Payne shouldn't be your starting point guard. So Markelle, Clippers could be a place. The Heat signed Kyle Lowry. I'm just trying to get through this real quick, y'all. They got Quickly. Quickly should be good enough. They re-signed Schroeder. Brogdon is set. Yeah, it's not that many places for Markelle to go. John Wall got a player option as well. So the Wizards and the Rockets are kind of stuck with those two. Chris Paul doesn't have a player option. Will be a free agent. So the Clippers, I guess it's the Clippers. The Clippers. We got to try. If we get Terry Rozier, that'll be a place. But Kemba is also a guy that we had on our target list. Again, don't know why they disappeared. I don't know if it didn't save when I was doing this on my own or whatever. But Kemba Walker. The thing about Kemba is that he's a little bit more hefty as far as money to be paid versus Terry Rozier at $36 and $37 million a year. But the one thing I do like about Kemba Walker, if we were able to get him, and the reason I'm putting them in the mix is because we know the interior for Boston hasn't been the bright spot for them. So Wendell Carter would make sense there. And because he makes $30-something million, it would help us get off of Gary Harris or Terrence Ross's contract too, because I would need them in the mix to get Kemba. But yeah, Kemba 16 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, below 40% from the field, but just barely. He's just last year he was 40%, so he almost there again. Not shooting the three at his typical rate, but 82% from the free throw line. He's only playing 28 minutes per game. Only playing 28 minutes per game. Again, it gives us the same question, the same problem. If we did get Kemba, what now happens to Markelle? What happens to Markelle? So we definitely gonna keep our eyes on all of those guys. My first and most expected guy is Terry Rozier, and I want to kind of sim through so we can get the Magic will receive Tyrese Maxey and Seth Curry, and the 76ers will receive Wendell Carter. I'm not going to accept the trade, but I just want to see what do they think they would do with him. Okay. So they don't have Dwight Howard as their backup center anymore. So the 76ers are basically saying, we'll take a 22-year-old Wendell Carter. We know Joel Embiid, his injury history. Wendell Carter be our backup center at 22 years old for $6 million a year. We'll take and let him back up Embiid, and we'll just have 2 starting centers basically. And whenever Embiid needs rest, we solid. Which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that. But Tyrese Maxey isn't the type of player I'm looking for. So I can't do it. But how do I? Oh, you have to decline the offer. 2K is a trip. I want to keep an eye on the Hornets too. I want to see how they perform without Terry Rozier being on their team. Another thing I do want to tell y'all about, the reason I'm not scouting is because I don't have a draft class for 2022. There's some guys that do have draft classes that I was looking at to potentially use, but the reason I like the infamous Eyez draft class because he has realistic ratings. Like his highest rookie guy is like 78, 77, which is usually the ratings that 2K gives rookies when they first enter. A lot of these other guys that look at their draft classes, they have guys coming into the league at 83 overall and 85. I know it's a lot of hype on Chet and Imani Bates, but nobody is coming into the game as a rookie at 85. Zion didn't come in the game that high. Anthony Davis didn't come in the game that high. Maybe rookies will hit that rating over the course of the season, but they don't come into 2K mid-80s. It just doesn't exist like that. And then you look at the draft. I should have showed y'all. There's so many draft classes where it's like they have guys like 7 guys in the 80s, and it's just not like that. You may get one guy who's at 80 on the head, or if it's the next whatever, you may come in at 81 or something. But guys ain't coming in with 7 dudes from one draft class in the 80s or 81. And I was like, bro, what is that? But y'all know I normally would simcast. Like I said, I'm trying to speed it up a little bit just so we can get to the point that where Terry Rozier is healthy, at least for the end of this episode or the beginning of the next episode, so we can try to get some type of trade done soon. The Timberwolves receive Rodney Hood in a first-round pick. The Raptors receive Malik Beasley in a second-round pick. I don't think that the Timberwolves would trade Malik Beasley for Rodney Hood, and I don't think the Raptors will give up a first round pick for him. I think Malik Beasley is solid, but he's not that much of a difference maker. So during Sim, we went 1-2, 2-1, 3-1. We went 3-2 during Sim. Now we're about to play the Charlotte Hornets. I want to get a quick update on Terry Rozier before we sim the game. He's healing. He's back to being an 80 overall. He's 1 or 2 weeks away, so he won't play. But I do want to see, what day was this? January 15th is when we put him on our target list. I do want to look at the Hornets' last few games since the 15th. They've lost 3, then they won 1. So they kind of been bad. They still 4th in the conference. Yeah, they've been bad. It looked like he's been out for longer than when I seen. Terry Rozier led them in points earlier in the season, one game. Yeah, Terry Rozier led them in points once. Okay. Or was the highest point getter in one game. They've had some tough matchups. Let's simcast this game, though. I just want to see how they play. Yeah, we not that... They beat us. LaMelo 20. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the top 3 guys are guards. It just don't make sense for them to re-up with Terry Rozier and give him $20 million when you have LaMelo. You just signed Oladipo. You have Gordon Hayward making $30 million. You about to pay PJ and Bridges. You're going to need a center because Tony Bradley, only for so long is he going to be able to hold it down. You still have Malik Monk, who on any given night can go 25 and 5. Like 9 or 14. That's an amazing night for a guy like Malik Monk coming off your bench. For us, a lot better. Shout out to Schneid. Some of the 3-point things are getting a little better, but for some reason, like I said, we still have these random ass numbers of like 3 and 16 from 3. Oh, no. That was the field. 1 of 12 from 3. Like, at some point, I mean, I guess Gary Trent's our best 3-point shooter. He can let it fly. I just don't like when Jonathan Eyez goes like 1 of 9. 1 of 5 is better, I guess. But it seems to be getting somewhat better. We made some adjustments to the sliders because I'm sick of seeing guys go like 1 of 9 from 3 and they're not even a sharp shooter. Wendell Carter is now day to day. He's back fully healthy. We beat the Bulls. We lose to the Wizards. So we're teetering that 10th rank in the Eastern Conference. Hopefully some type of move like this Terry Rozier, Kemba Walker, something will be a move to rejuvenate us, give us some type of go-to guy, some type of shot creator that can close out games for us and be reliable down the stretch. I could just pass the Hornets. So before we get up out of here, Terry Rozier is now day-to-day. Victor Oladipo just went down with a bruise right here. But Terry Rozier is back day-to-day, and we're going to try to simulate a couple games through advance. We might have to do an auto-generated rookie draft class, which I hate doing. But tell the infamous, please get that 2022 draft class done. 3-game losing streak now. So yeah, now I'm hoping he's healthy because we need to start. He's still day-to-day. We end the month of February. We'll end it here. Next episode, hopefully we can see Terry Rozier get healthy and we can start putting the pieces together to try to make a trade for him, Kemba, somebody. But we are in desperate need of a shot creator. We dropped down to the 11th rank in the conference. I still want to climb up and maybe snag that 8th seed and get some type of playoff experience for our young team. As always, I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's your boy Pete with the Plug. I'm out.